Hi everybody, welcome to practice. Today is day 22 and for today's practice we have a little rest and digest session, a little yoga for the parasympathetic nervous system. So starting to slow down, starting to relax and finding our flow, finding our groove here today. So get into something comfortable, roll out your mat and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start today's practice in our Sukhasana or easy pose. So sitting with the legs crossed, grounding down through the sit bones, lengthening the spine, letting the shoulders relax. Maybe tucking a little blanket or cushion in underneath the tailbone. If that feels good for you, bringing the knees into alignment with the hips just for maximum comfort here. And then you can allow the eyes to close if that serves you, or maybe just letting the gaze soften. I'm going to rest on a point in the room. And then just starting to bring our awareness into the breath. Consciously begin to slow the breath down. As we enter into a state of calm, of relaxation for today's practice. Arriving here onto the mat, fully into this present moment. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, controlling the breath, long release. Breathing in all the way down into the belly, feeling it expand. Long exhale out, feeling the shoulders soften. Beautiful, just taking a couple more breaths here to the sound of your own breath. And then when you're ready, slowly starting to open the eyelids, coming back into the space, adjusting to the light. Sitting up nice and tall, lengthening the spine. And then bringing the left fingertips or the palm down to the ground. Right palm reaches up, past Sukhasana or side body stretch. Bending into that elbow. Feeling that stretch all the way up the right side body. Maybe easing in a little bit more, maybe coming all the way down onto the forearm if that's accessible. Keeping both the sit bones glued to the mat here. Maybe meeting yourself halfway, maybe bringing a block or a book underneath the forearm here as you stretch in. Maybe starting in one place and then easing in as we breathe here, as the body begins to relax. One more cycle of breath in and out. Beautiful, taking it all the way up and over to the other side. It's coming to that place that feels nourishing, that feels good. Maybe you can sink a little bit deeper. Taking one more breath here. And then taking it all the way back up again into center. Beautiful. From here, taking over onto all fours, into our tabletop, tucking the toes, scoop the tailbone up and back into our downward facing dog. Okay, pedaling out the feet here, letting the head and the neck relax. Pressing down through the hands. And a nice lengthening all the way from the tailbone, all the way down the spine. Free flowing energy here. Free flowing breath. Not worrying too much about what it looks like. Just really coming into the sensations of the body. Coming into how you feel here in this pose as we just hold for another breath. Beautiful, dropping those knees down to the mat. Untucking the toes, aligning into our tabletop. So stacking the joints here, wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And then as we inhale, dropping the belly, lift the chest. Exhale around the spine, bringing the gaze in towards the navel. Moving through our cat and cow here. Moving at your own pace here. Moving in a line to your own breath. Maybe adding in circles of the hips. Maybe rolling the shoulders. Making this your own here. Really listening to your body, listening to what is calling to you in this moment, in this practice today. Just for one more breath. Beautiful, and then coming back again to that flat back, that tabletop. Awesome. From here, we're going to send the hips back. Sit bones to the heels. Slide the fingers all the way back as we come up into our Vajrasana or Thunderbolt pose. Okay, and then sliding the hands back forwards. Almost coming down into a child's pose here, and then sending the weight forwards back into our tabletop. Okay, just playing around between these two poses. Inhale as we come up. Exhale as we slide the fingers down and shift the weight forwards to our tabletop. Exhale, send it back. Rounding the spine as we come all the way up to our Vajrasana. Nice stretch for the ankles, for the feet here. And again, just making this your own here. So seeing how much you can just let go. Find your own flow, your own groove. Playing around with that rounding of the spine, the flexion of the spine, as we transition from one place to another, maybe bending into the elbows, lifting the chest. Just taking one more here, sending the hands forwards, coming up into our table. Exhale, send it back. Curving to sit up. nice and tall, up on the heels. And then sending those hands around behind the back. We're going to interlace the fingers, draw the knuckles down and away as we start to lift the chest, lift the chin, drawing the shoulder blades in together. Taking a couple of breaths here, letting those shoulders wiggle down away from the ears. And then releasing the hands, wiggling the fingers all the way around the front of the body, giving yourself a hug here. So wrapping the hands around, maybe drawing the chin down into the chest. Awesome job. Inhale, reaching out. Exhale to take it over to the other side. So whichever arm was on top last time is going to go underneath this time. Again, just taking a couple of breaths here. Beautiful. Inhale, reaching around. Exhale, hands come back to rest on the knees. Awesome. From here, sliding the hands forward, same as before, as we make our way back to our tabletop here. Awesome. And then sending the hips forwards and down, bending into the elbows as the hips and the belly come into contact with the mat, squeezing the elbows in at the chest, pressing down through the hands into our baby cobra pose here. And then starting to sink the chest down a little more, coming onto the forearms here. And then lifting the chest and the chin. This is our Sphinx pose. A little bending for the back, so breathing down into that stretch, into that sensation. Feeling the breath traveling all the way down into the lower back. And then slowly starting to soften, melt that chest down as you bring the hands in underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes. We're going to push up and back, taking it into a child's pose here. Letting the heart space and the forehead melt down. Slowly starting to lift the head. We're going to make our way up back to where we started our practice today, into our Sukhasana, our easy pose, so crossing the legs, sitting up tall, lengthening the spine. And this is where we're going to finish our practice today. So maybe taking a moment to close the eyes, let the expression on the face soften, letting all the muscles of the body soften and relax here. Feel free to lie down. If you want to stay in a Shavasana for a little while after this practice. Otherwise, sitting up nice and tall and staying here in this state of relaxation, in this state of meditation, for as long as you wish after this video has finished. Bring one hand into the belly, one hand to the chest. Holding a moment for gratitude for this practice. For yoga and its roots. For those who have practiced before us. and celebrating yourself for carving out this time for you, for your journey, and for these practices. Slowly bringing the hands together in prayer at the chest, and then floating them up to the forehead, the third eye, bowing the chin. Namaste.